Welcome to Ink and Fitness. For those who are new to my channel, my name is Anthony. I'm someone who went skinny to fit, and these videos are just purely educational. So this way you guys can go ahead, take what you're learning inside from these videos, especially if you are someone who's also skinny, and implement it inside your own fitness journey. Be consistent with it, of course, above all, and get your own results. For those that are interested in one-to-one coaching, though, the link for that will be down below in the description. I'll set you up with a nice game plan and then set you up and getting pointed in the right direction for help. Enough about that though, let's get straight into the video for today where we're going to be talking about some training tips for you skinny guys to help you bulk up fast. And these are the same training tips that I implement myself to this day to help me keep gaining weight, keep gaining muscle, especially when I'm doing a bulking phase. So let's dive into things for today, and let's start off by first addressing not training like a loser, right? If you're swinging the weights around, if you're lifting your entire body to get the weight up, if you're ego lifting like crazy and your only mission is to get inside and outside of the gym, and your reps mean nothing at all and there's no intention behind what you're doing inside of your training sessions, then you are training like a loser and you're ultimately just wasting your time inside of the gym. There's no real purpose behind what you're doing inside your training sessions. And even if you have the eating part dialed in and the rest and recovery part dialed in, if you don't have your training dialed in, you're not going to get the results that you're seeking. If anything, you're just going to gain a whole bunch of fat and very little muscle, right? You'll see gain weight, you'll see some results, let me rephrase that. You'll see little results, but it wouldn't be the results that you're expecting to get if you also had the training portion side of things dialed in inside your fitness journey. So, what we want to do is we actually want to train like a winner. And how do we train like a winner? Instead of swinging the weights around, go ahead and lower the weight you're doing. Pick a lighter weight and focus on your technique on each exercise. Your technique, your form matters more than the weight that you're lifting. And I know what you're probably saying, oh, Anthony, I don't want to seem like a scrawny weakling lifting such a small weight when other people are lifting big weights. Who gives a shit what other people are doing? You're inside the gym to focus on you and to self-improve yourself, not to self-improve and watch other people. You're doing this for you, for your own reasons. And a little spoiler alert, people in the gym are also do not give a shit about what you're doing. They're not watching you. There's no eyes on you. So don't let your ego take a hit or anything like that, or don't let your ego take over in general, because people don't really give a shit about you or what you're doing inside of the gym. And to kind of put a cherry on top of all of that, the people who go to the gym, they understand what it's like to be a beginner. They understand what it's like to start from day one, from scratch, right? Not everyone in this world, or really anyone in this world at all, comes out fresh the womb, already looking like, a Greek god or having the physique of their dream. Like, no, that's not possible at all physically. That's insane. Even just me speaking those words is fucking insane. Like, no, that's not the case at all. We all have to start from somewhere. We all have to train hard. We all have to be consistent to get the results that we want inside of our own fitness journey. So the people that are inside of the gym, number one, they don't give a shit about what you're doing. They don't give a shit about the weight that you're lifting. And most importantly, they understand what it is like to be a beginner. So don't be so hard on yourself. You want to make sure that you train with intensity. You want to make sure that you train till failure. And what training till intensity, or with high intensity, sorry, and training till failure look like is essentially you train until you cannot do one full rep anymore. So what one full rep looks like is that if we're starting at the, for example, with the bicep curl, if we're starting at the, in the beginning starting position of the bicep curl, so we're on the way down, or excuse me, our hands are down, we have the weights, and then what we want to do is that we want to explode on the way up on the concentric part of the movement, and then on the way down of the movement, we want to have a 3 to 4 second count as we go down, so that way we control the negative, we control the weight that we're doing, and we're not just ego lifting, right? We're just not letting the weights just fucking go down, and that's that. No, we want to actually control the weight on the way down, so a nice little 3 to 4 second count on the way down. At the stretch portion, at the part of the bottom of the movement, we want to have a slight 1 second pause, and then we want to explode all the way back up again. So that's one complete rep right there for you. So that's how training with high intensity looks like. If you do that for 6 to 8 reps for 2 sets, I guarantee you your muscles will be cooked. they're going to be so sore the next day. If anything, my muscles are sore because I worked out really hard yesterday from training in this way, especially with incline bicep curls. Yeah, my biceps are cooked. So I guarantee if you train in that way, your muscle groups will all be cooked as long as you're being consistent, and you'll see the results that you want to see if you have the eating and rest and recovery part of things also dialed in as well. So can't forget about that. And then last but not least, this goes hand in hand with training till failure and training with high intensity. Just actually exert yourself inside of the gym. If you don't want to do both 2 sets till failure, that's fine. At least take one of those sets till failure though. Get used to being uncomfortable. Do more than what you're used to. That's the only way you're going to grow in general. And that's just really like a rule of life in general as well. Reps and sets. So let's get some clarity on reps and sets, because this used to be one of my biggest questions back in the day when I was first starting my fitness journey, and I know it's a lot of people's. I know it's a lot of it's a lot of the same question as well for most people. How many reps should I do? How many sets should I do? And I already kind of answered that in the last slide, but just to kind of make things more organized and succinct for you all in this one singular slide. Stop doing your typical 4x12 on every exercise, because if you do that, it likely means that you're spending, number one, 2 hours inside of the gym, but secondly, you're also not training with the intensity that you should be training with. You're likely just swinging the weights around, that's that, and you're done. You feel like the more you do, the better, but in reality, it's all about the quality of the sets and reps opposed to the quantity of the sets and reps. So instead of doing 4x12 on every exercise, do 2 sets by 6 to 8 reps on every exercise, picking a moderate weight where you can control the weight throughout the entire movement and train with high intensity. And you want to take both of those sets till failure. Again, if you don't want to take both of them till failure, completely fine. At least take one of them till failure. By doing 2 sets till failure though, not only are we maximizing our time inside of the gym, but this also really forces us to really give it our all inside those 2 sets. If you train, you'll find when you train in this way, you'll be in and out of the gym within an hour. Maybe less, depending on the exercise selection, which I'll cover towards the end of this video here for today. But as you can see, we're maximizing our time inside of the gym. We're training a lot more efficiently, and we're making each rep count. 6 to 8 reps is the sweet spot when hitting failure if you pick a moderately heavy weight. If it's so heavy, though, where you cannot control the exercise movement at all whatsoever, then go down in weight, right? Again, don't let your ego take over. Go down in weight. It's okay. No one's staring at you. No one's judging you. It's going to be all right. Progressive overload. Huge one. Huge one. This is the foundation for hypertrophy training, for gaining muscle, gaining mass. You can progressively overload by either increasing reps, sets, or weight, right? It's up to you. But the most popular way to progressively overload is by increasing the weight. So let me give you an example here. If you're doing 2 sets of 6 to 8 reps on leg extensions for 100 pounds 1 week, and you perform an exercise with good form and reach the top of the rep range, so 8 for both of your sets, then next week you would increase the weight by either 2.5 to 5 pounds, sometimes even 10 pounds, because I know the leg extension machines, they go by increments of 10, unless you have the little weights that go, that weigh either 2.5 to 5 pounds. But you increase the weight by either 2.5 to 5 pounds, maybe even sometimes 10, if you are able to control the weight and perform that new weight. So performing the new weight. So for example, this would be, let's say we gradually increase by 5 pounds. So the next week you would do 105 pounds for 2 sets by 6 to 8 reps. And you would do that same weight until you reach the top of the rep range, so 8. With really good form, with really good technique for both sets. And once you, surpass that weight, or once you do perform that weight for both sets with good technique and reach the top of the rep range, then that's when you increase the weight once more. So that's what progressive overload roughly looks like. Some of my other videos explain it as well in case you need to watch them. So definitely go back to the past 5 videos so that way you can learn a little bit more about progressive overload. But in a nutshell, that's what it is. Definitely implemented it again, as I mentioned, it's a foundation for hypertrophy training, and it's the way that you start to build muscle and build strength as well. So do not neglect it. exercise selection, there is really no right or wrong answer to this. In my opinion, I know there's a lot of talk about, the most optimal way to train, the most optimal exercises for certain muscle groups and whatnot. And, the science the science backs up those claims, right? Those exercise selections, right? Certain exercises are respond better for certain muscle groups, right? I know I'm kind of jabbering on a little bit here, but for example, I'm sure you guys have seen JPG coaching, right? And I'm sure you've seen him do the lat pull down, but the unilateral lat pull down where he just has a handle and he sets up the bench where it's chest supported and he just pulls it down like that and it hits his lats a lot more. Stuff like that is fine, right? A lot of science backs up those certain exercises for those certain muscle groups. But in my opinion, all that really doesn't matter, right? Even though the science may say something different, I feel like, in my opinion at least, this is not backed up by any science or anything like that, or at least none that I've researched, right, up until this point. In my opinion, though, it doesn't matter what exercise that you do, as long as you do it with proper technique, proper form, and that you are controlling the movement all the way throughout the given sets and rep scheme, right? That is my opinion right there. I feel like you can get great results if you are properly doing the given exercise with good form and progressively overloading, right? And that's that. With that being said, though, if you are doing, different combinations of compound exercises and isolation exercises within one given training session, I would always recommend starting your training sessions with the compound exercises first, just because those are the most taxing within the body, and then move on to your isolation exercises, since those are the less taxing on the body. And generally, though, 4 to 6 exercises within a training session is the sweet spot. That is more than enough for you to get a really good workout in and see good results. And then last but not least, we have rest times. So I always say rest times of 3 minutes for isolation exercises are best, and rest times of 5 minutes for compound exercises, that's a typo, for compound exercises are the best. You may see this and you think it's a little bit too much for you, but you have to keep in mind, if we are genuinely training with high intensity, then we will need all the rest that we can get, so this way we can carry the same intensity throughout our entire session, throughout our entire training session. So keep that in mind. You'll need the rest too. Trust me, after you start training in this way, you're going to need the full 3 minutes, sometimes even 5 minutes for compound exercises, because those really knock the breath out of you. At the end of the day, though, listen to your body and see what it needs. Sometimes you feel like you may need more than just the times mentioned above, or sometimes you feel like you need a little bit less, right? It just depends on you. But at the end of the day, make sure you're training hard. Make sure that you're doing exercises with proper technique, and make sure you're being consistent in the way that you are training. That covers it for the video for today, though, guys. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help the channel out. It helps get my videos out there, and obviously let the algorithm do its thing. If you are someone looking for one-to-one coaching, though, once more, the link for it will be down below in the description, so feel free to check that out. Until the next video, though, guys, take care. Much love to you all, and peace.